If you live in a cold weather climate, I'm going to tell you 3 things that I learned moving from California to North Carolina and what to do in the wintertime. Hey, this is Jay, and thanks for coming into the Real Estate Minute Show. By the way, before I get started, doesn't it look like the Lord is coming through my window right there? Anyway, I digress. It's been cold. My brain is frozen. So, moved to North Carolina about 1.5 years ago. This is our second winter. It was freezing last winter, and it's just starting to get freezing this winter. And there's a few things that I've learned if you are in an area that's colder whenever it gets or dips below 30, when things can freeze. So if you have copper pipes, most of the piping that exists in America, the pipes have water in them at all times. If it gets really freezing out and below 30 or so, and even dipping below that, it gets frozen inside the pipe. No brain power needed there, okay? What happens, though, is when it starts to cool or warm back up, I should say, and the ice starts to melt, that's when the bursting happens, and you have to replace a bunch of pipe, and it's hundreds and thousands of dollars to do so. So I learned that last year. I was lucky. It was Christmas Eve, and I froze my pipes. It was like 0 degrees outside. So I went out with a hairdryer, 3 extension cords, and I'm hair drying and blowing hot air all over the meter and all that kind of stuff. Well, I learned, and I broke, by the way, my irrigation system and all kinds of crap. Here's 3 things to do if you are in frozen or it dips below 30 and what you need to do. 1, keep at least 1 faucet dripping with a nice drip, drip, drip. If it's super cold, like 0, you want to keep a stream. But if it's like around the 15, 20 mark, a nice constant drip, okay? I know it seems wasteful of water, but it's much more expensive to replace your piping in your house, okay? Now they say that you want to, if you're going to do just 1 faucet, you could do the faucet that's furthest away from the water heater or the main source of where the water comes into the house. Then essentially that's the whole idea, is that it's starting to drip in water. It's keeping water constantly flowing through your water system and your pipes in your house. And moving water has a harder time freezing, okay? If you want to do all of them, it's a little overkill unless you're like -10, but you don't really need to do that. Just try to pick 1 sink that's furthest away. Now, it's funny because I did that last night, and I woke up this morning, I still had a bunch of air in my line, which means it froze a teeny bit, even when I did that. Okay, number 2, turn on the heat just to a simple 60 degrees, 58 to 60 degrees or so in the house. I know if you hate heat like I do, blowing on you all the time, just turn it down as far as you can take it, but you want some sort of heat just to keep things flowing in the house. The 3rd thing to do is to open up all of your cabinets underneath your sinks. The kitchen sink and all the bathroom sinks, open them up because the heat from the house flows in and keeps the pipes warm from that source too. With those 3 things, I've survived so far. Thank the Lord. There's other things that you can do, which are like, number 4, 5, 6, 7, like, insulating your hose bibs and all kinds of crap. We're not getting into that right now, just those top 3. Hopefully it saves you thousands of dollars like it's going to save me this winter. See you next week.